Only we can win this war. Surely. We have war. No more. Look at this. That was written by Charles Lamb. Look at this. I'm at work today. I know what you're thinking. He must be on some kind of vacation. Nope, this is work. I work out here on a private island owned by people. Really nice people. That's actually Canada right there. We caused a major incident one time when we shot a cannonball across the river. Good thing we know the judge. Anyway, I'm working here today, and I'd like to make a segue video. I've been working in this particular room most of the day. It's very beautiful. This is the building that if you're a member and you have a house out here, we have homes where you can park your big old boat right there, no smaller than 55 feet, I think. Anything smaller than 55 feet, you got to go on the other harbor. We have homes out here. It's really beautiful, really quiet. I'm the only one out here. I'm working in this room here today. You see, I gutted stuff. I had to put plugs in, run some plugs, wires, and fix all the electrical shit. I'll show some more rooms here in a minute. I'd like to make a segue video and sort of start 2014 because we are down to 4 days a week, of course. I kind of have a seasonal job, although this is my third year here. It's very beautiful. The sun's setting in a few minutes. I'm finished. I just been cleaning up here. Oh, there's my little ducky friend. There's a lot of wildlife out here. I call it nature in your face. I am so incredibly fortunate to have this opportunity. It's one of the benefits of the job, the nature thing, and I'm really into it. There's no stress out here, and if you ever watched the video from last year, there's no stress driving here. I'm the only one on this island right now. But I'd like to talk about a few things, especially it's really bothering me things, and that's the beating of the drums of war. The war drums are beating faster and louder, and they will soon reach a crescendo. We have all these nations becoming allies and teaming up against it. You know, it's like a schoolyard fight. You know, we're going to team up against that guy and that guy, and they got Saudi Arabia and Israel. Now, in my old videos, I had said a lot of this stuff's going to happen. But, you know, I didn't make a video. I just wanted to sit back and kind of, I had a lot of work to do out here, and of course my garden, and I'm out in the woods. I'm out in this wilderness all the time. It's where I spend all my extra time, and I got to get out of that habit. Really, but you learn a lot from nature if you really take the time, and if you're fortunate to have an area like this where you can take time and contemplate while you're out there and wonder about things. It's a really good experience. It's a human experience, and not enough humans don't experience that anymore. We're stuck in a plastic world with unnatural surroundings 24 hours a day. This is really beautiful, and but that's really bothering me. But it's like a puzzle. I kept saying this before. What we need, I used to love to play this game Risk, but Risk only went so far, and it only went back so far, and then you had to play those Napoleon dudes and stuff like that. I think that we should have started out with like Napoleon, and then went up to, say, full-out nuclear war, and everything in between. And what we do is, you know, during your conquest, you have to make certain political moves and certain strategic moves in order to conquer or get materials or take land and take oil, take whatever you want, if you can do it. Catch the other guy with his pants down. But it would have to be 3D. It would have to be like one of those 3D chess games where you got 3 levels, so you can keep going up the level, and the highest level is total thermonuclear war at the end. And then, of course, who wins? How do you start over? How do you start over? You'd have to wait so many years. You'd have to go back to the Stone Age in order to start over again. And that's something else I'm going to talk about, like the days of Noah, which I don't think were the Stone Age days. I think they were, I don't know, something happened that put them back to the Stone Age. But anyway, I'm going to talk about things like that. You know, I think we're in times that really parallel some of the olden days. The olden days when we had big problems. Now, this is where I work. I'm going to show you some more rooms here. I don't even know if this, my last videos had a few sound problems. You know, I think they do that on purpose. I'm too opinionated. And what we're going for here, we're remodeling this. We did the bottom floor last year. What we're going for here is this is beadboard. How much light do I have in here? Let's see. That's what we're going for. Beadboard here. Now this is accommodations for people that own the island and they have guests. And the guests can stay in these rooms. Of course, the toilet. And this is all new drywall for the bathroom here. You can just kind of I mean, this is it's like a rough. You're roughing it when you're out here, you know. These people don't. This is roughing it for these people. Let me tell you. Yeah, we have a full bar on the island. We have a little golf course back here, swimming pool. Here's some other rooms here. We have. Shit, some more views. The rooms are all gutted right now. Most of them we're beginning to do some work. This building's over 100 years old. It's been remodeled a few times, and there's always a lot of issues you have to deal with. Nothing's level, straight, because the settling of the buildings. We're out here on the island, and it's kind of not liquid, but it's a constant movement. Another room here. Of course, nothing got done here yet, but ripping it out. But right in the middle of this, we have no heat, so we have to run heaters. A little bit of a room here. There's no heat, no water. We turn all that stuff off. We have our own water plant. Then we have electricity, but nothing else. Another bathroom that's just drywalled. Still a little sanding, some painting, and all the finishing touches that we have to get done by the end of April. Okay. Now, this way. This is the other side of the island, opposite of where we were just a minute ago. Okay. That's the lake. One side's like a big old river thing, and the other side's the lake. We are in the lower Lake Huron water basin. These little islands dot this whole area. This island has been privately owned since 1872. Okay, I'm going to take you downstairs and show you kind of what the finished product is going to look like. And I am going to make some videos. Another thing I'd like to talk about is Fukushima. Not just Fukushima. I did a bunch of videos on radioactive crap. I had people that I know die of stomach cancer. A lot of them from one area, and I was kind of curious why this one little area has so much stomach cancer. And I grew up in this little area, a little farming town. We'll go in this room right here. And it was near that Paducah, Kentucky nuclear processing facility that would process stuff for weapons and process plutonium and stuff like that. Everybody around there has cancer, man. It's crazy. People say it's safe, but it's the main industry in the whole place. Now this is really cool. We put the wooden shutters. This is real wood. Right here, the shutters on all the windows. This was all gutted like the other rooms before. This is a double room. See if you have a little brat, you want to tuck them away somewhere, give them a TV. You know, these are wooden shutters. These are functional and really beautiful. They spared no expense on these, I can tell you that. We had these custom made and installed. Really nice. Old sort of motif on the furniture, like 1960 stuff, but I gotta tell you, this stuff they don't make it like that anymore. It's really strong and durable. Here we go, the finished bathroom. Ooh, that's me in the middle. Okay, finished bathroom. There's a couple different colors. So there's a smoke detector, battery stuck out on it. Here we go. So I'm thinking, I make some videos. I'm going to express my opinion, and I'm not politically correct, and I still comment a lot. I get a lot of comments on my comments, which is pretty funny. I know this is boring, but I thought this is very beautiful. This is downstairs. We're still working down here. I got to do some stuff up front here, but most of this is basically done from last year. And there's the one side again. This is the golf course. This is the first floor. We've got 2 floors, 24 rooms. It's the golf course, and it goes out to the other side of the bay. It's very beautiful. We have over here, this is a clay tennis court. Like the old time ones. Put the clay out here on the tennis court. It's really a big, huge job. Yep. The animals, I mean, there's geese and snow geese everywhere. We have the eagles out here that hunt on this golf course, and of course in the morning. Then we have the few falcons that during the day, they keep the rabbits and the squirrels on their toes, that's for sure. Okay. I'll be making videos pretty soon. I'm going to cover a bunch of subjects. I got a list at home, and I'm going to go one at a time because it's hard for me to concentrate. I got adult ADD, I think. I don't know. I took the test and I had it. I don't take any drugs for it, though. And that's another thing I want to talk about, drugs. We are in a drug epidemic, and I'm going to encourage people to stop taking any pharmaceutical drugs, because I think this is a way that people are going to get corralled. They're going to herd the herd in, and they're going to use drugs to do it. Now, they've been talking about these statin drugs, and they want to get 2/3 of the population on these statin drugs that lower cholesterol. And even if you don't need your cholesterol lowered, they're going to give it to you anyway, just in case in the future you might need it. But then you can't live without it after a while. 2/3 of the population taking a drug they can't live without. What do you think's going to happen? All they have to do is say, listen, we can't get the drug to where your location is, so yeah, everybody's got to move into the inner city in order to be able to get your drugs. And so many people, I mean practically everybody I know is on, because I'm 50 now, they're on some kind of blood thinners or heart drug or some type of drug to do something. And the asthma or all these strange diseases that's going around right now, Crohn's and colitis and all this other shit, and just all kinds of stuff. And these people are just on these drugs. And not to mention the legal drugs, the heroin and everything else. I mean, my God. And but even the prescription drugs, I think that's going to be a way to corral people, to herd them in to where they want them to be. Because once you're on a lot of this stuff, and I was discussing this with some family members over the holidays, and of course they didn't believe me, because just practically everybody there was on something. I mean, they were on something for something. And it's just, even the young kids were. And all those kids are on freaking Adderall now. I mean, it's just crazy. And one more thing. People say that, why do you even really care? My family says, I mention Fukushima, or I might mention other radioactive sites, or I might mention the oil spills, the Gulf, BP Gulf, which is some oil spill down in the Gulf that I'm going to talk about also, where they say there's still a lake of oil on the bottom. Oil and corrects it on the bottom, and nothing's living in it. Everything's dead. And it's just sort of forgotten about. But I said, something, the thing is, they said, why do you worry about it? And, I really don't worry about it. I don't really care. But when you look around and your family is all present, and you see these little children, we have a lot of little babies in my family now. We're kind of a grown family. The nephews and nieces are having children, and it's like we're like a tribe. And that's our tribe members. And in the old tribes, you would do everything you can to protect your members, sort of like the Muslims do right now over there in those tribal lands. But that's your tribe. You do everything you can in your power to protect your tribe, your members, especially the children and the women, because they're the ones that's going to be the future. And I said, well, if you're not informed, then you don't know who the enemy is, because the enemy is unseen. The enemy is covert. He's behind the scenes. He's doing things in the dark. That's where he operates, not out in the light, not with regular human beings. And if you don't know, you don't have to worry about it. Just know about it, because one day you may face the enemy. One day, you may have a critical decision to make, and not only that, you have to decide to fight this. You can't fight this enemy unless you know it, and the only way you can know it is to be informed in some of these things. And all these catastrophes that's been going on for the last few years now, they're all just, it's like the waves coming in before a front. When you're at the ocean, and the waves come in little and longer durations and shorter durations, a little bit bigger, and then pretty soon they're a lot more with shorter durations and a lot bigger, and then soon they're just rip roaring in. Well, they're rip roaring in right now. And this morning I heard we had that train blow up there in North Dakota or something. Now they're gonna that oil pipeline. They're just trying to get that oil pipeline. They've been talking about trains derailing and exploding for a long time. And of course we had the town that burned down in Canada. It's going to be a whole thing, and we'll just see what happens with that. but it's part of the puzzle. I watched those trains burning, and they were saying there's no casualties, there's nobody hurt. And I'm thinking, look, they just scorched the land for miles and miles and miles. Nothing's going to live in that fucking scorched land with all that oil and shit. Nothing's going to live there. It's going to destroy all life, and nothing's going to live there. That's the plan. That's the whole plan. Not just destroy humanity, destroy all life on Earth. And let me tell you something. This water right here, this is something else. In the future, this is going to be something else that everybody's going to be wanting. Right here, water, duck out.